Have you ever wondered about the role of women in ancient Greek society, a society that both revered and feared female power? This is a question that has puzzled historians and scholars for centuries. The enigma of ancient Greek women is steeped in paradoxes that challenge our understanding of their status and roles. In the realm of mythology, women held positions of immense power and influence. They were goddesses who ruled over aspects of life and death, love and wisdom, war and peace. They were Amazons, the legendary warriors, renowned for their bravery and skill in battle. These female figures were not only respected but also feared for their power. They were the embodiment of strength, wisdom, and beauty. Now let's shift our gaze from the realm of mythology to the actual society. Here, the picture becomes more complex, and the status of women more nuanced. In reality, the day-to-day lives of ancient Greek women were far removed from the grandeur of goddesses and the valor of Amazons. Women were primarily confined to the domestic sphere, their lives revolving around their homes and families. They were expected to be modest, obedient, and virtuous. Political or intellectual pursuits were largely inaccessible to them, and their voices were often silenced in public spaces. Yet, despite these restrictions, women found ways to exert influence and make their presence felt. They played vital roles in religious rituals and festivals, and were central figures in the art and literature of the time. They were the custodians of culture, morality, and tradition. This contrast between the powerful goddesses and Amazons of mythology and the comparatively subdued real-life women of ancient Greece is fascinating. It speaks volumes about the society's perceptions of women, their fears, aspirations, and ideals. It tells us how they revered the concept of feminine power, yet simultaneously feared its actual manifestation. As we delve into the earliest records, we'll begin to uncover the complex and intriguing world of women in ancient Greece. The first records of Greek women emerge from the Minoan and Mycenaean civilizations, where women had a surprisingly prominent presence. Let's dive into the Minoan civilization first. Sprouting up on the island of Crete around 4,000 years ago, the Minoans were known for their vibrant frescoes and intricate pottery. But these were not just aesthetic pursuits. Through these artistic expressions, we can see the significant role women played in Minoan society. Depictions of women in these frescoes and pottery are abundant, often showing them in positions of power and importance. There's even evidence suggesting the existence of female deities and priestesses. This hints at a society where women existed not just as supplementary figures, but as central characters in the narrative of the civilization. Now, let's jump to the mainland, to the Mycenaean civilization. The Mycenaeans, who existed around the same time as the Minoans, left behind a wealth of information in the form of linear B tablets. These tablets have given us a glimpse into a society where women were woven into the fabric of religion and economy. In fact, some of these tablets even mention women by name, indicating their influence and importance. But there's something even more intriguing about the Mycenaean women. Some scholars suggest that this civilization might have been a matriarchy. Now, this isn't a universally accepted theory, but the sheer amount of references to women in positions of power in the linear B tablets certainly makes it a compelling possibility. Both Minoan and Mycenaean societies seem to have held women in high regard, allowing them to hold positions of power, influence, and importance. These were societies that recognized the significance of women, and their roles extended beyond just the domestic sphere. They were leaders, they were priestesses, they were deities. These early societies provide an intriguing glimpse into the potential power of women in ancient Greece. This is a testament to the fact that the story of women in ancient civilizations is not just one of subjugation and marginalization. It's also a story of power, influence, and prominence. As we move into classical Greece, the status of women appears to shift dramatically. With this shift, we're introduced to the traditional roles of women, which were largely centered around the domestic sphere. In this period, women's lives were predominantly confined within the boundaries of the home, where they were expected to manage the household, raise children, and weave cloth. However, women in classical Greece weren't just housekeepers and mothers. They were also essential to the religious life of the city-states. They had crucial roles in rites and festivals, often serving as priestesses and participating in religious processions. Yet their participation in public life was generally limited. They weren't allowed to vote, hold public office, or even attend the theater. Their world was a stark contrast to the public sphere dominated by men. Interestingly, this image of the demure and domestic Greek woman is at odds with the portrayal of women in Greek mythology. Here we find powerful goddesses who command respect and fear. Take Athena, for instance, the goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare, renowned for her courage and strategic wisdom. Or Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, wild animals and wilderness, known for her independence and fierceness. These goddesses were strong, powerful, and far from being confined to the home. They were rulers, warriors, and protectors, wielding their power with authority and fearlessness. Yet these powerful goddesses were not the role models for mortal women. Instead, they were reminders of the divine, the extraordinary, the beyond reach. They were revered and worshipped, but their power and independence were not to be emulated in the everyday life of a woman in classical Greece. So, we see a fascinating dichotomy. On one hand, the mortal women, bound by societal norms and expectations, restricted to the domestic sphere. On the other, the immortal goddesses, free and powerful, ruling over realms and commanding respect. It's clear that the ideal woman in classical Greece was far removed from the powerful goddesses of their myths. And yet, these goddesses continue to captivate us, offering glimpses into the complex world of women in ancient Greece. However, not all Greek women were confined to the home. In Sparta, women held a unique and elevated status. Spartan society was a world apart from the rest of Greece, and this was nowhere more apparent than in the lives of its women. While Athenian women were often cloistered away, Spartan women enjoyed an education similar to their male counterparts. They were taught to read and write, to sing and dance, and even to engage in sports. This was not just for their personal enrichment, but was seen as a way to produce strong, healthy mothers for the next generation of Spartan warriors. But their education wasn't limited to the arts and athletics. Spartan women also learned the art of conversation, making them some of the wittiest and most engaging women of their time. They were expected to be as sharp of mind as their husbands were of body, and their opinions were not only respected but sought after. In addition to their education, Spartan women held property rights that were unheard of in the rest of Greece. They could inherit and manage property, and they often controlled the household finances. This economic power gave them a level of independence and influence that was unique among Greek women. And finally, Spartan women commanded respect. They were seen as the mothers of Sparta's warriors, and as such they held a sacred and revered place in society. Their role was not to be subservient but to be partners to their husbands, and to contribute to the strength and prosperity of Sparta. In so many ways, Spartan women were the heartbeat of their society. They were educated, respected, and given a level of autonomy that was rare in the ancient world. They were the backbone of the Spartan home and contributed greatly to the success of their city-state. Spartan women stand as a stark contrast to their counterparts in other Greek city-states, proving that the role of women in ancient Greece was far from monolithic. Despite their limited roles in society, the influence of ancient Greek women resonates throughout history. Ancient Greece, with its pantheon of gods and goddesses, epic tales of heroism and tragedy, and rich tapestry of arts and philosophy, has left a profound legacy that still shapes our world today. Yet among all these contributions, one of the most significant, yet often overlooked, is the role of women in this ancient civilization. In the realm of literature, Greek mythology and drama abound with powerful female characters. From the cunning and resourceful Penelope, who held Odysseus's kingdom together during his long absence, to the tragic Antigone, who dared to defy a king for the sake of familial love and honor, these women showcased strength, intelligence, and emotional depth that transcended their societal constraints. But the legacy of ancient Greek women extends beyond the pages of Homer and Sophocles. They also made their mark in the real world. Priestesses like the Oracle of Delphi held significant religious authority, while others like Aspasia of Miletus were renowned for their intellectual prowess, influencing great minds like Pericles and Socrates. Fast forward to the modern era, these stories of ancient Greek women have been reinterpreted through the lens of feminism, shedding new light on their experiences and struggles. Feminist scholars and authors have sought to reclaim these narratives, presenting them as powerful figures who navigated and resisted the patriarchal structures of their time. The legacy of ancient Greek women is not just about their contributions to Greek society, but also about their enduring influence on our understanding of gender, power, and resistance. Their stories remind us that women's voices have always been part of our cultural and historical narratives, even when they've been silenced or marginalized. Women in ancient Greece may have lived in the shadows of the Acropolis, yet their stories continue to illuminate our understanding of the past.